So this is the third and final part of the three-part video with Kuya Ronnie with our discussion. I don't know if anyone has even watched or if you even like these videos, let us know. And if you want us to put out more content, let us know. And if you have any questions as well, I hope you enjoy this final part. Peace. How about you, Kuya? You have some questions for me? Because we are co-host naman.
Ay, ganun pala to. May question.
I'm
Hindi
just,
pala to one way, no? Two-way
I'm
pala
just,
to.
kasi to, this is not necessarily an interview. This is more like a conversation that, like I said earlier in the podcast, I blackmailed him into into doing this podcast or this episode. It's because I am one of those people that was inspired by Sir or Kuya Ronnie. So of course, as someone who has received inspiration from him, parang it's a good opportunity then to share uh like what you've learned or the things that you have discovered along the way. So that's why we are doing this. But I don't want this podcast to be just very one-sided na I'm just asking questions and he's answering. Oh, I don't know. I'm just going out of the whim to kasi this is the first episode eh. It's so weird na we will just and so anyway, like I said, casual conversation. And if anybody finds this entertaining, then we could be more comfortable in entertaining or inspiring or educating them, something like that.
Sige, sige. May question ako. May naisip na ako. Ito para to sa mga mga nag-aral ng university na hindi gusto yung kanilang course. Okay, Vic. For those who do not know, we had the same course.
Mm,
Lamang lang ako sa kanya ng konti and then I teach some of the subject.
yeah, he was my teacher actually. Yeah, he
Uh,
was a senior in our college, and then he became my teacher when he graduated.
Instructor,
My
yon.
instructor, yeah.
Sige. Did you or do you, sige, did you na lang, did you love philosophy?
I think the love only came after I graduated.
Oh,
Because
fair
personally,
enough.
I think a lot of people could relate that not everyone likes to study. And although I like to learn things, but paminsan you do not embody what you learn. So for me, after graduating philosophy, I sort of like ended in the same path as Kuya Ronnie. I became an instructor also. And I found teaching quite fulfilling. And of course, a lot of people, or maybe in the Philippines, would say philosophy, philosopho kang tao, parang walang
That's
time
right.
pinag-aaralan
Yeah.
mo, or some people would say na you have no future in philosophy. Pero if you would dig deeper into that, medyo magle-lesson tayo ng konti. Philosophy came from two Greek words ba yun?
Yeah.
Philos and
Sophia.
Sophia,
That's
which is the love of wisdom.
yes.
And wisdom is like knowledge that you would pass down to other people. So, like I said, I think I started to love philosophy when I am sharing wisdom to young people. And I think that's the core of philosophy because philosophy is applicable to anything. It's just very broad. Na there's this philosophy of engineering, there's this philosophy of architecture, there's the philosophy of beauty, love, and whatsoever. It's just there are just different branches. But I think what's important in terms of being a philosopher is how you could gain wisdom and share that wisdom to others. So I guess that's the uh, yeah, that was my love hate relationship, I guess. That's why I asked
I
you
like that. Ang ganda ng term.
that's why I ask you if you ever do feel burned out with being an inspirational speaker. Kasi for me, like I said, I enjoyed teaching. But at the same time, when you see the students that you are teaching are not, like applying or learning from what you are teaching them, it's kind of like sayang. So yeah, I guess that would be my answer because I really don't like studying, but I like to consume knowledge. I don't want to sit down and just like read the book or like sit in class. As long as I find something interesting and then ko-consume ko siya, then probably share it with other people so that they could relate with that as well. It's kind of selfish, I would say, but that's how I learned. Yun. Hmm. Ay, wow, may palakpak.
Parang ako yung host, di ba? Kasi, ikaw, ano rin ako doon. Ibalik mo sa akin yung tanong.
Okay, did you ever love philosophy?
Minahal ko ba ang philo? Anyway, in my case, it's more of a opportunity trap.
Mm.
I was so trapped in the opportunity because when I entered that school, dalawa lang yung course. It's either it's a new at that time it's a new school. It's either ano yun? Secondary education, major in values
Values education.
education, or the philosophy. And hindi ko alam kung yung konsensya ko, yung sikmura ko, hindi masikmura na I'll be teaching values education. Coming from someone who was so rebellious, no, walang kamodo-modong anak na lagi nagpapayak ng nanay niya. And then, I am a man of vices before I enter the school. I am into drinking, I am into smoking, and so I could not figure myself imagine myself teaching values education to the people, and that's the sole motivation why I enter philosophy. It's not for the love of philosophy, but it's to escape the other course. So that was my my motivation for that one. But siguro meron sa atin, even the other audience or yung nakikinig, they could relate to this one, that when you are in a position or in you did not love your course, ang hirap.
Mm.
Especially when you are trapped in several reason. Yung iba siguro, yun yung gusto ng parents nila. In my case, it's the only opportunity I had. Or else, I would go back to, dun sa mahirap na buhay. And because of this thought, I did not like philosophy. It's not famous in the Philippines. Siguro when you are in Germany, that part when you are a philosopher, then they think of you highly. Not in the Philippines. My love for philosophy grew after graduation. Anyway, I did not appreciate reading, these thick books. And then if there are thoughts na hindi mo ma-explain by yourself, you have to read it 5 times or 10 times until you can get a gist of that one. Saka mo siya i-expand. That is the life of a philosopher. Manggulo ng maayos na buhay o mangayos na magulong buhay. That's us. That's our life. But similar to you, when I am out in the world, and then there are many parts in my life that I could relate philosophy to. As a profession, it is weak, but as a way of life, it is big for me.
So,
So,
ano yun? It is weak. As a profession, it is weak. But in life, it is big.
yeah.
Quote of the podcast.
Yun, something na kahit kumakain ka, parang may maisip ka na philosophy, no? Ganon. And then, especially kapag ka mahirap yung buhay, yung tipong baling-bali ka na ganon, yung tipong isang hibla na lang malapit ka nang tumalon, ganon. Yung isang hibla na lang Einstein ka na, or you'll become crazy people. Those were the times that I really appreciate philosophy so much in my life. And philosophy is not my choice. But when I became successful in that very difficult place, there comes a time that you will be blessed with an opportunity that you like. Right now, I'm studying in Ateneo, governance and development, major in youth development work. And that is something that I am aligned, that I see myself. Finally, I could live a life of my choice. Kaya ang ganda kasi my life experience taught me that when you feel so life is so unfair and you are pushed in an opportunity that you do not like, and you somehow thrive on it, use it to become successful, in a way makakatulong siya sa iyo in your later life. There's no way that I would graduate magna cum laude without loving philosophy. pero hindi siya yung bread, yung cup of bread and
Mm,
tea ko. It's not something that I will choose in my life, but I was given that opportunity and I had to become successful on it. Otherwise, I need to go back to where I came from,
mm,
which I do not like that life. Compared to that life before, I do na ako sa philosophy. And I appreciate it when I teach also to my student. Medyo masakit nga lang when I teach atheism, gano'n, David Hume and everything. But I really enjoy that one. And right now, I'm using it also in my life until now.
mm. So for you, it would be safe to say that sometimes it's okay to break down your students to build them back up because you were worried about teaching atheism, because you would shatter all of their beliefs and then suddenly you try to bring them back up, right? Something like that. So,
Alam mo kung bakit mahirap magturo ng philosophy? Ay, ng atheism at that time? Because it was seminary. Imagine it's Unification Theological Seminary at that time. You will teach atheism in a school owned by religion.
mm,
Imagine that one. And then there are actually students who appreciate me teaching atheism kasi naintindihan nila that God does not exist. Naintindihan nila yung mga philosophy na yun nga, na baka God is just an expression,
mm,
is just an idea.
mm.
Kaya masakit din, gano'n. But I had to give that lesson objectively based on the book where I learned. And then, at least in my life, I could get to understand that one and then share also my own thoughts.
So it's not easy to be a philosophy student. Kala nyo lang. Because it will break you. But
Yeah.
I think any course naman will break you kasi Um, I haven't really experienced other courses, but there are people who take, like, let's say, law, then break down and then leave that, diba? Or engineering or
That's right.
whatsoever. But there are also other people that I saw personally on TikTok na they post this like series of pictures. First picture is that they graduated, like for example, what will you do with your nursing degree? Like people were asking them, and then the next picture is I will take up chemical engineering, which is not totally related to
Nursing.
nursing. So I guess the nursing is for the sake of, like, because the parents want it or that was the norm, but probably another opportunity like what you're saying opened up, and that's why they were taking that other course, diba? So you never know where your life will take you,
That's right.
diba? So ano lang, so what's the what's the key takeaway there? When you're trapped, just go on and then later on figure it out. Maybe, no? Because life is very indefinite.
That's right. And as they said, if you cannot escape it, then enjoy it. If there's no way for you to escape it, you might as well enjoy that one.
How do you see these podcasts progressing? Although I blackmailed you into I blackmailed you into doing this, but what for you? How do you see this as an opportunity to, I don't know, this already probably the answer to the question, like to inspire young people, or how do you see this going moving forward?
I am a big fan of discussion.
Ah,
I am a big
ako din.
fan of variety show, those talking and everything. I never imagined myself to be
In
in
one.
this situation in one. Self-conscious pa right now. But it's a big platform, more than I figured more than just talking with hundreds of young people in one setting. If you did the podcast, you would never know how many, students, youth and students who are listening, how many you can inspire or expire, how many can relate to your life story, to your love story, and to your own self-development story. So it's something that I am quite excited to venture but nervous. And I do not know if I'm the right person, but if the audience like it more, why not?
So I've trapped him, so he has no choice but to enjoy it now. Something like that. All right. So hopefully more episodes to come, and hopefully despite the busy schedules, we can still continuously put out some episodes. If you have made it this far through listening or watching, if you have some topics that you want us to discuss, maybe philosophically,
Yeah, inspirational books
mm,
or mag-review na inspirational movies,
mm,
ganun.
or some TikTok videos,
Yeah, like that. I
mm,
think reacting to those videos is really good.
yeah. So please let us know in the comments below. And maybe you have other questions for me? No? Wala na?
For now, wala na. Siguro next meron na.
And any siguro before we formally end, grabe no. We pinagplanuhan namin 'to ng ilang linggo pero parang ang short lang din. Because we're just winging it. What is your not necessarily final, but for this first episode, what are the final things that you want to say to our watchers or listeners?
Yeah, I hope you'll enjoy more Vic's podcast. It's really good. It's something that we need to look forward to. And greatest takeaway for this episode, siguro if we are to summarize some of the points that we can share from the audience, um, finding your advocacy, finding something what you want to do in life
Mm,
is very necessary to become happy in a world of um, hardships, in a world full of mental problem, in a world full of anxiety. Finding something that you want to do for your life is, I considered, a big accomplishment. I can see many people, even at the age of 40 or 50, are still wandering around aimlessly without finding what is the purpose of their life or what is it that they want to be. So if you are listening right now, I pray that may heaven bless you the blessing of wisdom to know what is the purpose or what is something that you would want to achieve, advocacy that you would want to follow in your life. And if you cannot escape it, then enjoy it. Because I think that's a big philosophy in my life that I considered to be one of my guiding philosophy. I'm Many people, perhaps not just me, many people will always be put in a situation that is not their choice, unfair situation, trapped because of culture, trapped because of opportunity, like me. But if you can, bring victory in all those difficult situations, you will become like the lotus flower,
mm,
from a muddy place. Philosophy kasi wisdom, so andun yung lotus, di ba? Buddha, ganun. So, parang yung lotus flower, it will rose from a muddy thing, and then across the surface, and then will become a beautiful flower. So I consider my life, I am to be a um, lotus flower. So yun lang mga kapatid, those who are listening right now, life might be unfair to you right now, but I hope you can find the right family, the right person, the right wisdom, the right movie, the right music, the right everything so that you can find that hope and you can find that light so that your lotus flower will find that light and will become a good flower later on, blooming not just for yourself but for other people.
oh, di ba? Very philosophical. All right. So, to our listeners, thanks for listening this far. And we will hopefully see you in future episodes, probably with more guests.
Comment lang kayo, I don't want anymore or I like it more.
All right. So, I guess we will end here and thank you for your time.